You've seen it 100 times. Your Maine Coon climbs onto the bed, turns in a slow circle, and settles down against you for the night. And you probably think it's the same thing every cat does. It's not, or at least not in the same way. What your Maine Coon is doing when it sleeps on you runs deeper than in almost any other breed, and it comes from a place most cat owners have never even heard of. By the end of this, you'll understand why this one breed sleeps the way it does, and honestly, you may never look at those quiet nights the same way again. Because the last reason is the one nobody talks about. Let's start with the thing hiding in plain sight. The warmth. Every cat likes a warm spot, sure. But with your Maine Coon, that pull toward warmth runs stronger, and it traces back hundreds of years. This breed didn't come from a breeder's catalog. It was shaped by the brutal, frozen winters of Maine in the American Northeast, where the cold was a genuine threat to survival. Over generations, these cats developed a thick, water-resistant coat, tufted paws like snowshoes, and a body built to hold heat. And that heritage shows up in behavior too. In deep cold, the safest move is never to sleep alone. You press against the warmest living thing you can find and share body heat until morning. So when your Maine Coon lays its full weight against you and refuses to move all night, it isn't only being clingy, it's leaning on something older. It's treating you as a heat source, a warm body in the dark that once meant the difference between making it to morning and not. But warmth alone doesn't explain everything, because if it did, your cat would sleep in any warm spot. It doesn't. It tends to choose a very specific place, and the reason why is where this starts to feel less like an ordinary cat and more like something else. Watch where your Maine Coon actually positions itself, not just near you, but where in the room. Owners of this breed report the same thing again and again. The cat sleeps between them and the door, facing the entrance, laying its body along the path anything would have to cross to reach them. And while every cat has its favorite spots, this pattern shows up in Maine Coons often enough that it's become one of the breed's signatures. It doesn't look like the usual feline logic. Most cats, when they sleep, choose pure self-protection. They tuck away, hidden, in the safest corner they can find. Maine Coons frequently do something closer to the opposite. They put themselves on the outside, between their human and the open room. This is a big part of why the breed earned its most famous nickname, the dog of the cat world. That instinct to stay close, to orient toward the door, to act less like a cat hiding and more like a companion keeping watch, leans far more canine than feline. Your Maine Coon isn't just sleeping near you. On some quiet wired level, it seems to have decided you're worth staying close to, and it's taken the spot nearest the door. And once you notice that, the sound it makes at night suddenly means something more. Have you ever noticed the sound it makes right before it settles? It's not a meow. Cats mostly meow to get things from humans. This is different. It's a soft, rolling chirp, almost a trill, a little warble that bubbles up as it circles and lies down against you. And that sound is one of the more intimate things your cat gives you, because Maine Coons are famous for chirping and trilling far more than they meow. And that specific vocalization traces back to kittenhood. It's closely tied to the sounds passed between a mother and her kittens in the nest, sounds of contact and safety, not demand. So when your grown Maine Coon chirps at you as it curls up for the night, it's reaching for you in its most trusting register. Not the voice it uses to run the household, but the one wired to comfort and closeness. And here's the part that catches people off guard. Plenty of Maine Coon owners have heard that sound for years without realizing it was anything more than noise. But the chirp is only the surface. The next behavior ties this cat to you in a way that's much harder to write off as coincidence. Here's something you may never have consciously clocked, but pay attention and you'll likely see it. Your Maine Coon tends to drift toward your schedule. Most cats are crepuscular, wired to switch on at dawn and dusk, which is exactly why the average house cat is tearing across the living room at 4 in the morning and walking on your face at sunrise with zero regard for your alarm. Maine Coon owners often notice something gentler. This breed, being unusually social, tends to settle when its people settle and stir when they stir, drifting closer to the human rhythm than most cats bother to. It doesn't erase its nature entirely, no cat fully does, but it bends toward yours. And that leaning matters because animals sync their downtime with another creature for one main reason: social bonding. It's what pack animals do, it's what dogs do with their families. And this breed of cat leans that direction too, quietly arranging more of its rest around your life so it can simply be near you. But drifting toward your schedule is passive. The last thing it does is active, deliberate, and it's the moment the bond stops being about comfort and becomes something it's physically doing to you. Right before your Maine Coon finally settles, watch its pause, that slow, rhythmic pressing into the blanket, into your leg, into your chest. Push, release, push, release. We call it making biscuits, and we treat it like a cute quirk. Its meaning is anything but casual. That motion is the same one a nursing kitten makes against its mother to bring down milk. It's one of the most infantile, trusting things a cat can do, and it tends to surface only when the cat feels completely safe. So when your large, powerful, half-wild-looking Maine Coon starts needing you before sleep, it's slipping back into the most secure state it knows, the one from its mother's side. But there's a second layer, and this is the one people rarely say out loud. Those paws have scent glands in them. So does its face, which is why it presses its cheeks into you too. Every need, every rub, every night draped across your body is also your Maine Coon marking you, working its scent into your skin and your sheets, claiming you. To this cat, you're not only a warm, beloved companion, you're also territory. You're something it's quietly labeling as its own. And in a home with other pets, that scent is a message every other animal can read. So now, put it all together, because the full picture is bigger and stranger than any single piece. Step back and look at what's really happening on those quiet nights. Your Maine Coon presses into you for warmth, leaning on a heritage forged in the winters of Maine. It tends to settle between you and the door, orienting toward the room like the dog of the cat world it's so often compared to. It chirps to you in the soft, trusting language of mother and kitten, not the voice it uses to make demands. It bends its own rhythm toward yours just to sleep when you sleep, and it needs and marks you, claiming you while slipping into the most trusting state a cat can reach. That's not simply a cat that likes to cuddle. That's a breed built to endure a hard, cold world, doing something it doesn't do with just anyone. It takes the instincts wound most tightly around its own survival, warmth, safety, territory, and it wraps them around you. It folds you into the small circle of things it will keep warm, keep close, and keep claimed. For a breed shaped by nature to weather the winter on its own, letting you inside that circle is about as deep as its trust goes. So tonight, when your Maine Coon climbs up, turns its slow circle, chirps once, and lays its weight against you, you'll know what it's really telling you. It isn't just sleeping on you. It's chosen you as one of its own. And that's something you'll rarely see an ordinary cat do.